Hello, 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 hello. Shalom, 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 וחג סוכות. Almost Shabbat shalom. Almost Shabbat shalom, everyone. I'm here at Lake Balboa. I come here every so often. I really like the ducks, the geese. They're just walking by, playing, having fun. I think they're happy. They look happy. They look content. They look happy, content. The sun is shining. The water is flowing. They wiggle their tails. Oh, there is a flock just passing by. Nice. Nice, nice. So, I want to turn you here. There you go. Hello. Oh, kids. So, almost Shabbat Shalom, as we're in the midst of the Jewish holiday of Sukkot, Tabernacles. Yeah. Let's see, I'll take this off a little bit. So, a lot of shifts, a lot of changes. The question is, how do we take these changes? How do we take those shifts? Bring back the question of free will. Where is that free will? So we can talk about, is free will, is there enough free will? What is the free will? But what to mind actually just this and part of today's message or today's talk or conversation, because we're interacting, is where is the free will happening? Like at what point of the production line, right? If we are if our entire existence is is a single strip of from the entire movie, so where in that strip, where in that production line is that freedom of choice? So I was looking at the kids, and it also ties into the question of what is the nature of the humankind. Is the nature of the humankind, what's the disposition? Actually, that's well, it could be a nature too. Is it happiness by default and need a reason to be sad? Or is the disposition is that we come sad and the disposition and we need to have a reason to be happy? So it's either we come happy and we need a reason to be sad, or we come sad, or we come depressed, or we come looking at life and what is happening in a pessimistic way, and then we need a reason to be happy. And so, for the first question is where is that freedom of choice coming from? Freedom of choice is happening actually in every minute that we choose how we are. And we choose how we are when we choose how something is affecting me, or when I choose how to respond to something that is affecting me, then I'm making a choice right there. I'm making a free choice right there. And that free choice is giving me the outcome. The universe, the cause and effect, that it doesn't look at is it good or bad. It looks at the cause and looks at effect. It looks at what I say and what I inhabit and what is created. It is not about an emotional this or emotional that. It is how I look at things, how I speak of things, how I inhabit, and what I invite. So we can also look at talking about the question of are we coming by default happy or not. We can talk about this. There can philosophize about this, and we can talk about this from here till tomorrow. But really, there is a simple answer to that. If we look at our time of coming here as babies, as children, do children, because children, when they come here, they are a clean slate. They are the closest to God in their experience because they're not filled up with all the kakamaista that we have in life. And so if we look at children, their disposition is happy. They're happy unless something is taken away from them, unless they're not comfortable, unless they're in pain, unless something did something to them. And then once it's fixed, once it is gone, then they're happy again, then they're fine. Right? So if we look at the children, this is how we were. And what do we do these years? What do we do with these workshops, with these play shops, with these lessons, with these teachings, with all the studies that we learn? We really are striving, we really want to understand us. I really go back to the place of purity, go back to the place of joy, go back to the place of happiness. Why? Because that's where we came from. That's how we came from. And so all that happened for us throughout life, if we don't see it as happening for us, if we see it as happening to us, then we're in the negative sphere. We look at things, how things are happening to us, why this is happening to me, why I'm not this, why I'm not, right? So what is that obstacle that is really causing us to be unhappy or to be negative, to be in that place? So we can look at that and see how we can tilt it, like a pinball machine, where we could nudge the machine for the ball to continue and flow. Because many times we are in a flow, things are happening, things are good, and suddenly something happens. We start something new, and suddenly there is this pullback to this old place, to this place that we are so familiar with. It pulls us back. So the main things that are causing us to be in this place are disappointment, if you think about it, and worries. Disappointment and worries. And the disappointment can be several things. It can be an external thing. Can be an external thing. Can be something that we expected from someone. Maybe a situation that we are. Maybe I'll do this. Maybe a situation that we are trying to shift, to change, and it's not happening, or it's not happening in the speed or likeness that we like it, or that we expect it to be. Right? Maybe it is in one of those configurations, relationships or the lack thereof, or or women that are trying to get pregnant and are disappointed. Why this is not happening? Why this is not happening? I'm praying. I'm saying all these things. It's interesting. In Judaism, there is not just in Judaism, but there is the notion that prayer is actually going to shift God's perception or God's emotional response to our existence. There is a perception that if I pray hard enough, you didn't pray hard enough, that's why you didn't get it. But really what it is come from, if I bring back the word abracadabra, the name of my podcast on every Sundays. But abracadabra comes from the Aramaic word. I create as I speak. It's two words actually. Evra kedabra. I create as I speak. So prayer is not about changing God's emotional response or decision for us. Oh, we're going to convince him differently. It is we are by the prayer and by the words that we say and by our sincerity, our intention as we speak or as we are praying, that is creating a shift in the way that the energy is flowing, in the way that things are moving. This is similar to what we saw in the beginning. It is not about, oh, nice, all this bird. Oh, you didn't see the camels. It is not about the emotional response, but about the words that we create, what we create, the energies that we emit through our mouth, the energies that we are creating and emitting through our way of viewing. Right. So this place of disappointment is this external, and then the worries come, and then our worry is part of the second part of the constellation, where we bring ourselves, when we are disappointed, we find ourselves in a situation of down, and things that we say and things that we create in our field, in our energy, is affecting what we're experiencing back. Funny, got doggies and people. Okay, so I hope this is not abstracting, but I think the noise of the trees will be noisier than the noise of the doggies. So the worries and the disappointment is there's this place. Now the interesting thing is that in Sukkot, in the month of Sukkot, God is saying, enjoy, be in joy when you are coming to work, when you are praying. There are and it's not about the commandment about, oh, do these things otherwise. There are two kind of kings: a king or a ruler that is ruling out of fear, that doesn't care. All he cares about is the taxes that they take, or in our words today, the fear factor that is being created by all kind of injections and all this kind of stuff to keep us in fear. But now, thank God, people are waking up more to see that much of it, if not all of it, is really part of that fear tactic, that fear scheme. But then there is a king that is really concerned about the people. So yes, I want access so I can build roads for you. So yes, I want access to give welfare services. Yes, I want access to serve back to you. And the same thing is with God. Is the joy is for us. Why? Because the place that we inhabit is what creates the outcome. The place that we inhabit, if we are in a negative space, guess what? We're going to bring back those negative experiences in our circle. If we get up in the morning and we realize where we are and we realize what we have, then we are creating this positive vibe in our space, and this positive vibe is bringing the same vibrational experiences in our lives. So in Sukkot also there are the two main mitzvahs, two main good doings, or doings that are good for our advancement. Is the shaking and handling of the four species of the plant world, and then sitting in the sukkah itself. So the four species of the plant world is each of these is the lulav is the date, is the etrog is the citron, is the hadas, which is the myrtle, and arava, which is the willow. Yes. And so yeah, yes. So those interesting that these four kinds of fruit, four kinds of plantations that we are collecting to put them together because they represent not only the plant world, but also our world, our understanding, and our inner understanding. So the date has a taste but doesn't have smell, is the leaves, and that is like our spine. That is attributed to our spine. There's the long leaves. Then the etrog, the citron, has smell and taste, and that's attributed to the heart. The myrtle has the smell but no taste, and the willow has no taste and no smell. And they are, and the myrtle is like the eyes because it looks more like eyes, and the willow are like lips, are attributed to the lips. And the simple part of it is to look at each part of these plants and saying the king of them all, of these all, is the citron. Why? Because it has the taste and it has the smell. And that is attributed, the taste and the smell is attributed to a person who has good intentions, who is studying and studying how to better themselves and how to every day to learn from what is happening every day and to say, oh yes, if I tripped again, I recognize that. And to see what can I change in my reaction point of the free will, what can I change to make myself better? Or I can just shut down and say, la la la, I don't hear, I don't want to hear, all kind of things, talk to my hand, all these kind of things. I'm fine, I'm okay, I don't want to hear, I'm getting bored, I'm getting tired. Well, I don't, that is somebody that maybe is not wanting to hear what's going on. So the action is the second part. The action is the taste. So it's the smell and there is the taste. And the smell is the intention, is the self-work, and the taste is the actual action. So the king of all these four groups of species is the etrog, is the citron, has smell and taste. The date, the palm, actually, it's not a date, it's palm, the palm tree, has the taste, but doesn't have the smell. So it has attributing to people who have actually good deeds, they do good deeds, but they're not studying all the time. They're just good people. They're just simply good people. They're by their disposition, they are good. Then there is the one who has smell and no taste, and that is the willow. And they have good intentions, but what happens is that the intentions are great, but when it comes to it, no action. Now, of course, it's not cut and dry. It's not clear cut. Some days will be like this. Some days will be like that. Some days we are all heart. And some days we are a willow. And some days we are a palm. And some days we are a myrtle. The willow, for example, has no taste and no smell. And this refers to people that don't have any good deeds or no good intentions or no studying of bettering oneself. The point here is, and this is a key on how do we talk to ourselves, right? How do we talk to ourselves when we're in different situations to make ourselves feel and know better and feel better? And this is why we bring all the four species together. The Mishnah is saying, don't look at yourself, don't judge yourself based only on today. Like if today I got up and it was so, I was like this, maybe later in the afternoon something good happened. I did something good for somebody, I helped somebody. There is this good feeling of helping somebody. So you feel, I had a good deed, but I didn't have good intentions today. Maybe some days you have everything. You're getting up from the morning, you are studying, you're getting up, you're meditating, you're working, you're productive. There was productiveness to that day. You feel good, you feel wholesome. There is a wholesomeness. That is the citron. And the lesson here is, let's not look at ourselves or judge ourselves based only on one day. Just like when we bring all the four species of plantation together, the palm, the citron, the willow, the myrtle, we all bring them together look at ourselves as a whole, as what we do throughout the year. What did we do throughout the year? How were we throughout the year? Not just on one day, because if we look on one day, is really something that can take us down or just be not a proportional way of looking at things. And the place that we are, the place that we inhabit, drags the same reaction, the same behavior from us. So if we are in a negative space, most likely that I will be doing things that I wouldn't do otherwise. For example, um, when in negative space, sometimes I will go into insecurities for myself, into insecurity thoughts, which will lead to actions that may be a little self-insecure, if that's a word. So that's like a snowball that starts. We start with, oh, I feel like this, oh, I feel like that, and then one thing leads to the other, and the other thing leads to the third one, and the third leads to the fourth, and suddenly we find ourselves in a worry state. Now, we could worry either because we are anxious about something that didn't happen, or we are depressed about something that we did, and we are worried about how, oh, what did I say? I said something. Maybe it's not going to look good. It's not going to be received good. Maybe I should apologize. Maybe I should not apologize. All these kind of things that are coming from a place of how do we talk to ourselves. And just like the famous experiment of the Japanese Masaru Emoto with the water experiment, we're talking about how water has memory and how water responds to words. We are more than 80% water. How does our body and how does our state being affected by the words that we're saying? Right? How is that being affected? So it's important also in child education, just to make sure never to give the child the feeling that they are negative, that they are bad, that they themselves as an entity are not good, because that damages their own sense of worth, and then they start growing up to start questioning themselves, maybe the actions. So there is a very distinctive distinction between the action and between the person. It's like, I love you, but know what you do. So when we're taking all these, the Sukkot, being in joy, being in this place, looking at all the species, bringing them together, recognizing that we are changing all the time. We're fickle. Sometimes we feel like this, sometimes we feel like that. Where you have a push and pull. We're not going to be staying in one place constantly. It's okay to stay in one place for a little bit, but then we move, because that becomes mundane. That becomes something that automatically we may look at it with a more laxed eye. So we are all the time in a pull and push. So we go to this place to recognize where we were and what we have, and bring it back, bring ourselves back. And that creates the cycle. So being in joy. Now, another thing, of course, of remembering, of being in joy and being in this and cultivating this state of happiness, is remembering what we have every day, every morning, getting up every day, every morning, thanking God, thanking the universe of what we have. That helps our place of thinking, that helps our place of disposition. Now, the last mitzvah that is in Sukkot is about sitting in the sukkah. And this is for remembrance of the time of leaving Egypt and sitting in the sukkah. Now, the whole point of it is everybody is to do it, and it's the original. I remember growing up, and I'm sure that hundreds and thousands of years earlier, it was made out of pure wood. But we would take wood, we stick them 4x4s, 2x4s in the ground, and have a sheet or something to cover the sides, and have the branches of trees on top to create this roof, but not a sealed roof that you cannot see the sky. The idea is to be able to see the sky, because that means that this dwelling is temporary. And it also means that everybody, doesn't matter whether you are uh, um, somebody with a lot of money or somebody who doesn't have anything, everybody is equal in our spiritual journey. Everybody is the same in our spiritual journey. Everybody has a different journey on earth. But the bottom line is that everybody is equal. Everybody is the same. We're all light, and we're all coming from different places, from the same place, with different stories. But spiritually, we're all the same. And so it is to remind us that we're all the same. We all, at the end of the day, go to the same box, you know? So it doesn't matter if you had 10 companies or you had one company. We can't even take our socks with us. So be in joy. Everything that is happening, shifts are happening, things are happening now, uh, movements, changes in lives, changes in disposition, changes in how you feel about yourself. Everything is happening, and it is happening in the last several weeks. It's been intensified more towards Rosh Hashanah, Sukkot, Kippur, all this time. And when we recognize these things, when we recognize how we talk to ourselves, when we recognize that everything that is here for us, then the enjoy is becoming the joy. So, Shabbat Shalom. Thank you very much. It's beautiful here. I think I'm going to stay here for a couple of more minutes. And yeah, see you soon.